Good morning, I'm Craig Negrelli. It's Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, and these are your Unbiased Updates. 24 hours later, it's stand down when it comes to a possible tariff war between the Trump administration, Canada, and Mexico. How the leaders of all three nations agreed to hold off as levies involving China now come to the forefront. Also, a grim process. Crews begin to remove the American Eagle plane that plunged into the Potomac River last week after a midair collision with the Black Hawk helicopter. As more victims are located, the vow to all the families who lost a loved one.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
This morning, China is hitting back at President Trump's newly imposed tariffs with some of its own. China's finance ministry said today it will impose additional tariffs of 15% on coal and liquefied natural gas imports from the United States, and 10% higher duties on American crude oil, farm equipment, and certain cars starting next Monday. China's announcement came just minutes after Trump's additional 10% tariff on all Chinese goods took effect. This comes as Donald Trump put a 30-day pause on the 25% tariffs he promised to slap on Canada and Mexico. Straight Arrow News reporter Lauren Taylor breaks down the terms of that delay.
President Trump said he's going to delay the planned tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico after talking with the leaders of the two countries. Trump pointed to progress in securing commitments from both countries to secure their borders with the U.S. Some of the concessions build on steps the countries have already taken. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau led his ex post announcing the tariff delay by highlighting the country's $1.3 billion Canadian border security, equivalent to $900 million US dollars, which increases its cooperation with the U.S. and focuses on stopping the flow of fentanyl. The deal Trudeau mentioned is one Canada announced in December when President Biden was in office. Similarly, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announced plans to send Mexican troops to the Mexican side of its border with the U.S. While Mexico already had 15,000 troops at the border, dating back to commitments it made in 2019 during Trump's first presidency, Sheinbaum said 10,000 additional troops will be heading to the border. In addition to securing more troops from Mexico, President Trump's talks also led to Canada adopting some new, previously unannounced plans. Trudeau said Canada will appoint a fentanyl czar to oversee its operations to combat the drug, launch a new joint strike force with the U.S. to fight organized crime, and will list cartels as terrorists under Canadian law.
Our Lauren Taylor reporting. President Trump has not yet talked to Chinese President Xi Jinping about the tariff tit-for-tat, but is expected to do so in the next few days. In addition to tariffs of its own against the United States, China has also filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization. As the United States continues its crackdown on undocumented immigrants, El Salvador has offered the Trump administration an unprecedented deal. After meeting with El Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele, Secretary of State Marco Rubio laid out the details of the offer.
He has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. And he's also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentences in the United States, even if they're U.S. citizens or legal residents.
El Salvador's president said in a post on X, "We have offered the United States the opportunity to outsource part of its prison system. We are willing to take in only convicted criminals, including convicted U.S. citizens, into our mega prison in exchange for a fee. The fee would be relatively low for the U.S., but significant for us, making our entire prison system sustainable." It is not clear when such a transfer agreement might begin or if it would even be legal. The stop in El Salvador was part of a larger tour of Central America for Secretary of State Rubio. Before heading to El Salvador, Rubio was in Panama seeking assurances on curbing China's influence over the Panama Canal. Straight Arrow News political correspondent Ray Bogan has more details on our website, san.com. Rubio is also scheduled to visit Costa Rica, Guatemala, and the Dominican Republic this week. Back here in the U.S., salvage crews are continuing their work today, removing the wreckage of an American Eagle passenger jet in the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. During the first day of operations yesterday, they removed an engine and large portions of the plane's fuselage from the water. Investigators had said the plane broke apart in 3 pieces in the river. Officials say the remains of the jet must be removed from the crash site in order to recover all 67 victims who died in the midair collision between Flight 5432 and an Army Black Hawk helicopter last Wednesday night. So far, officials have positively identified 55 victims, and they vowed to recover everyone. Searchers found additional remains during recovery efforts yesterday, but they have not yet been identified. Once the jet's wreckage is cleared, crews will start working to remove what remains of the Black Hawk helicopter. They will haul it to a National Transportation Safety Board hangar for a lengthy investigation into what caused the deadly crash. Back to the Trump administration now. The president could soon sign an executive order directing Acting Secretary of Education Denise Carter to dismantle the Federal Department of Education. This is according to multiple reports, citing sources briefed on drafts of the order that are circulating among top administration officials. The proposed order is expected to call for Carter to submit a proposal to break up the department and for Congress to pass legislation to get rid of it. It is not yet clear when President Trump is set to officially make the order, but at least one White House official has said it is expected sometime this month. This morning, there are new developments on the future of TikTok in the United States. President Trump has signed an executive order that outlines plans to establish what is called a government-run sovereign wealth fund. It would serve as an economic development account and might be used to buy into TikTok as a partner. The popular social media app is operating under a 75-day period during which its owner, ByteDance, is supposed to break away from its Chinese influence. In addition to TikTok, the fund would be used to pay for infrastructure projects in the United States, including at airports and highways. Finally this morning, tax season is here, and if you're banking on the IRS's new direct file system to make life easier, you might be confused about a recent social media post by Department of Government Efficiency Chair Elon Musk. On his platform X, Musk shared a user's post about the free program and said, quote, "That group has been deleted." That led to concerns Americans would not be able to use the new tool to file their 2024 taxes. But it turns out Direct File has not been deleted and will remain available, at least for this tax season. Musk was referring to 18F, a government agency that worked on technology projects, including the IRS's Direct File program. The IRS announced last year it would make the free electronic tax return filing system permanent. We checked this morning, and the Direct File service is still up and running. By the way, tax day this year is Tuesday, April 15th. And as they say, I think it's after Christmas, but it works here. Many happy returns, right? It's always nice when you get money back. Those are your unbiased updates for this Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.